If you're waiting for delivery from UPS, the package you've been expecting may have been disposed of. UPS customers are telling us, NBC News, that their packages, including things like tea and telescopes, luxury glassware, musical instruments, even more than that, some worth tens of thousands of dollars, those packages are stuck in customs purgatory or maybe even gone. It's happening because a long-standing tariff exemption on low-value packages ended back in August, and that threw the system into disarray. Thousands of packages from overseas stuck in U.S. Customs limbo and awaiting clearance. And as those packages are piling up in warehouses, UPS tells NBC News it has started disposing of some shipments. NBC's Brian Cheung has more.
Hey there, Tom. And anyone that has a package coming into the United States from abroad is likely going to want to listen into this pretty closely, because what we're talking about here is a often not talked about part of the trade law, which is known as the de minimis exemption. And before you roll your eyes, what we're talking about here is a part of the law that had basically said up until very previously that any packages coming into the United States from abroad that was worth under $800 in value would basically be able to enter in tariff-free. The thinking was that it just simply wasn't worth it for Customs and Border Protection to have to go through all of these small packages coming from abroad to then see what were the relevant tariffs that they need to apply to them. So they were coming in to the United States for a long time tariff-free. But the Trump administration closed that loophole amid the other tariffs that they were implementing and have been implementing since the January 20th and inauguration, in part because they want to more closely enforce and also police the potential trafficking of fentanyl into this country. But in doing so, they've also begun a lot of confusion over how to properly process a lot of these packages, because you have customs brokers that have been holding on to these packages that arrived in the United States already, but they can't release it to the person that ordered it and had it shipped to the United States, because they need to go back and find more information that they can give to Customs and Border Protection to then clear that package for release. And for that reason, you now have UPS telling our Kayla Steinberg on my team that really they're having to resort to, in some cases, discarding some of these packages while they try to figure out what's going on here. And we talked with one customs, the processing of these packages, who said he's never seen anything like this.
I've never seen anything like it. I haven't heard about anything like this happening. What seems to be a meltdown at UPS.
Imagine that frustration only amplified among the customers that are waiting for their packages to come in to their mailboxes or at their front doors. Customers telling us that they were very frustrated by not only knowing how delayed their packages are going to be, but whether or not they'll receive it at all.
It's just this constant loop at this moment of going back and forth of packages clearing, packages not clearing, to now just wondering what's going on with them.
We have about $127,000 worth of inventory currently stuck in limbo. If worst case scenario and we were to never see those teas again, it would certainly be devastating.
And we should note that the Trump administration has shown no signs of wanting to back off of that change that they made to the de minimis exemption, meaning that these package brokers that handle and process all these packages coming in, as well as the customers that are ordering from abroad, they might not get any more clarity anytime soon. Back to you.
Wow. Brian Cheung, thank you very much.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.